Hello, wrestling fans and anybody else out there. This is Discuss Impact, the most listened to Impact Wrestling podcast that myself and Gary take part of. If you're looking for the most listened to Impact podcast, that's Fightful Wrestling. And nobody comes close, no matter what they say. I'm Jason, back with the true horror king, Gary. Gary is probably going to be sitting quietly during this podcast, crying in the background after his Eagles lost or got robbed. Gary, how you feeling over there?
I'm not gonna lie. It feels like coming out of that Super Bowl, I feel like my heart's been ripped out of my chest.
All right, so Gary's doing good over there. We have some great news and some bad news. So let's start with the great news for once, since I usually go the other way. New Japan and Impact announced a joint show, the Multiverse United with what the hell is it called? I was going to say hashtag. It's definitely not called a hashtag.
Yeah,
only the strong survive. But if anyone doesn't know this, Strong is the name of their television show. So I feel like it's a big spoiler that they're going to win everything. I don't know. Also have a note here. This airs Thursday, March 30th at 8 p.m. on Fight TV. Gary, am I missing something?
No, you totally nailed it. I didn't even notice that it was at an 8 o'clock time frame, and it would be actually going head to head the very first opening of the show.
Well, the bad news is about ratings, which we'll get to in a second. But I mean, my God, what is this week? What is the March 30th Impact on AXS going to be rated when everyone is watching this? You know what I mean? Like, what is Impact even going to tell us to watch that night?
I know that's what I'm kind of like a little upset about, because they kind of just threw it out there too. I think it should have had a few more months build. It's like they're just throwing it out. I know New Japan's going to sell tickets, and some of our talent's probably going to get people to want to watch it, because we are, offering our best talent. But it just kind of seems like it's kind of like last minute kind of things. Like, I wish they would.
They usually would announce something like this soon. Well, it is. I mean, it is February. It's beginning of February right now, and this is March 30th. They announced it last week.
I mean, it just kind of seems like it's.
Yeah, that's fair.
Soon, you know what I mean?
But this is the WrestleMania thing, right? Like the WrestleMania week thing.
I think it's something. Is it WrestleCade or
WrestleCon?
Oh, WrestleCon. Okay.
Yeah, just making sure. So whatever. Two of the matches already announced: Josh Alexander versus Kushida.
Which kind of feels still like two Impact guys wrestling in a way too, because Kushida's kind of been seen on TV, Impact TV, quite a bit lately.
Yeah, not a huge fan with that one, just because of like what you said. It doesn't really feel like Impact versus New Japan unless something kind of changes.
Feels like when we used to do the World Cup, and then we go from within, and we put all this on the UK team,
and that's a non-title match, by the way. But then how's this one? Maybe the best match in Impact, or will be for a long time. Will Ospreay versus Mike Bailey. This will be just absolutely insane. I mean, maybe the two best wrestlers in the world. Like,
oh yeah, pound for pound, and like
definitely. I think most people would say top 5. I mean, I'm sure.
Well, another style was similar to. They do insane moves in the ring, like flips and.
Sorry, I just got to throw Kenny Omega in there, and whoever the hell else is those top guys these days. I'm not sure, but Mike Bailey, I've been mentioning, how many times anybody can go look. This guy headlines almost every goddamn independent show, like wherever he's possibly at. And he's the second match announced here. They also announced Jeff Cobb. This should be cool. Taking on Moose. I think we both love to see Jeff Cobb on Impact.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I know we made a play for him a while back, but he chose New Japan, which I totally get, because he wanted to hone his craft a little bit against, bigger names.
Yeah, and then just real fast, Miguel Austin and Chris Bay. It says most of the knockouts. I'm guessing they're wrestling each other unless they do something with Stardom, which I don't know. That'd be pretty sick, but I doubt it.
Well, I'm gonna go out on a limb here too, and I'm gonna add another person to this roster for this, epic event. I would not be shocked at all if we see Laredo Kid being
Cool.
announced for that show, because currently he's back in AAA, so he must be doing a loads better after his surgery. I think he like lacerated like a kidney or something, or like
Or maybe we're saving him for the Impact versus AAA show.
yeah, it could be that too. But I wouldn't be. You heard it here first. That Laredo kid is more than likely headed back to Impact, at least in some fashion.
I think everyone would love to see that. Just going to finish it off quick. Kenta, Rocky Romero, Minoru Suzuki, Clark Connors, Kevin Knight, Fred Rosser, and others. So looks like it's going to be a big show with a lot of matches and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, let's get to, okay, now the bad part for this week, at least for me. I don't like talking about ratings. Anyone who knows me knows this. I hate business stuff and ratings and numbers. It's boring. But I was looking at the Fightful has a thing of all of the Impact ratings since 2020, and it's just not good. I mean, no matter how you look at it, they started off with 200,000. They ended that first year with over 200. They had one crazy show. I don't know what the hell happened, but they got 221,000. Never came close to that again, other than beginning of the next year, 2021. They got like 190, but then it started down to like 120, some below 100, and now we're in 2023, and there was only one show this. I'm sorry, two shows this year over 100,000. We finished last year really bad with a bunch. There was a 50 in there, all under 100 except for like two shows. Maybe out of the last 8. So this week was 81,000 viewers, and once again a .01 demo. Which, Gary, do you know if there's a .00?
Oh, on this past week's show?
No, I mean, like, is that a thing, or is .1 the lowest you can get? Like, is 0 nothing?
For you to register, it has to be at least a .01 or whatever. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know if they can really technically count it if it doesn't at least have that one, or you know.
Gotcha. All right. I mean, but like I noticed, Fightful actually had a thing up, and it said the demo was steady. But like this, so the demo has been steady for like 4 or 5 weeks now. At .001. Like, that's really terrifying. Like, they were never at that last year. I remember, like, again, I hate talking about this shit, but I would like get worried when they were at .3 because they were hitting .5 a bunch of times. You remember?
Well, I don't see how they can be so oblivious. I mean, this isn't a knock on the company, or I'm not putting them down, but I don't see how you can be that oblivious.
I am.
Huh?
I'm putting them down, so go ahead.
Yeah, but anyway, like, though, you know what I mean? Like, I can't believe they don't notice, like, this is kind of trending in the wrong direction.
Very much so. And, yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say on that.
Can I say something before we get into the show? I'd like to say.
Sorry, I just have one note here. A year ago this week they had 117,000.
Oh, damn.
And this week they had, damn it, I lost it. 81,000. And 81,000 they also had on January 12th, which is, I mean, it's some of the lowest they've gotten. That's not like holiday shows, like, ever.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I
don't want to freak out, but people should be freaking out. I
don't like to see it when they don't hit the triple digits. That's just not good, because, like I told people back in the TNA Mecha days, there's a few people I'd argue with on it. They were bashing Destination America, saying it's a shit channel. Look at those numbers now. Yeah, I know, they were like 400,000 and 500,000, weren't they?
I mean, yeah, I think it was 300, like, easy, or 250. I think 250 was like bad, and we were complaining.
Yeah, but I told people that that's a good thing, because if we could have tried, you know, like, there's no reason why we couldn't have incorporated that shit into the wrestling. Because they could have had aprons with the show logos on them, or hell, they could have had some of the members of, like, for instance, the show, what was it on there? Mountain Monsters. Who knows? They could have had some of that talent on the show, or, you know, like the actors from that particular show. Yeah, and pretty random. I was looking at the well, not random. I'm a valued fan. I'm a hardcore fan, so I got an email today from AXS, which was their schedule for the week, and it's like music tonight, music show tonight, music show tonight, wrestling, Impact, music show, music show. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, it doesn't fit. Yeah, well, I don't. I don't know, knock on Dan Rather. I love the man. I think he's a really good correspondent kind of guy. But I don't see what he fits
Yeah,
on that channel either.
he's not,
So
no,
far
not,
above that kind of
no,
thing.
no knock on Dan Rather. He's a weird lead into Impact Wrestling.
Yeah. But I do like the sit downs he does, and like
Oh no, I mean yeah, the
I
guy's
feel
great.
like there's certain things they should mix that channel
Oh
up.
yeah, oh yeah. But I
Have
mean,
half the week music and half the week
yeah.
other week like sports entertainment or
Yeah, well, that's enough of us trying to tell Anthem what to do because they're not listening or whatever, and maybe they know better. Maybe they have some great plan. Maybe we got more coming with New Japan. I mean, I don't know. I've kind of been hoping like New Japan will maybe buy part, and it's like Impact is like their United States. I don't know. Whatever. Let's get into this week's show, which I'll be honest, I threw a lot of bullshit in there in the beginning because I was not into this week's show again, which is another thing. Like because the ratings are bad, and this is like the first time where I'm like I can't even be like, how are fans not watching?
yeah, even the viewership on YouTube. Even though I did hear YouTube has been having problems,
Um,
viewership on our latest video is there's anything to write home about. We were doing pretty good there, and then
oh yeah, we would kill. Yeah, we were kind of. I mean, yeah, we do really well on the podcast apps, and I do tell people all the time, like, why are you listening to us on YouTube? You can't see us, you idiot. So I blame myself a little for that, but I mean, I'm curious what the impact YouTube was like this week because
yeah.
I forget. Oh shit, do you remember what the match was? I mean, it was a great friggin' match before the show. It
Oh,
was it was yeah, Bailey. Oh man, whatever. It was Jesus, whatever. It was a Mike Bailey match. Okay, that's all. We'll find out during the show. But it was a Mike Bailey match, and this show was opened with Brian Myers and Dirty Dango.
and Raj Singh.
Ugh, sorry, no offense to Roger, but whatever. But yeah,
I would hardly call that other half really good though.
I mean, there was I'm sorry, it was even worse. There was a backstage segment to open the show with Matt Cardona. Am I correct? Or was that before Myers?
Well, it definitely was. He was
Yeah.
looking for a dressing room, and
Okay.
that's when they were Joe Hendry, and
Yeah.
he got to the wrong dressing room, or they told him he had to move, and then they took him to this like dank like old backstage kind of like
Yeah.
like closet. And I thought this was pretty damn good though. It kind of felt like old school like booking with Matt Cardona. Just because, like they had him all over the venue and he's looking like a buffoon.
I totally don't mind that, but I don't want to see him starting the show.
No, definitely not. It's
like,
not the way to grab the viewer.
It's got to be Josh. It's got to be Jordan. It's got to be something big happening. Like if I turn the show on and I see Matt Cardona, I'm like, eh. And then the first match, Brian Myers versus Dango. But you're right, it was funny, and I think it would have been fit very well later in the show. But the first match, Myers, who I love, defeated Dirty Dango, who is, all right.
He hit him with a roster cut.
I don't know what you do with this guy after they just signed him, and he's kind of, I guess he's just like a jobber already kind of guy. I mean, if he's losing to Myers clean.
Yeah, I kind of feel like he's just put him in pieces, like to give that person that push, like for 1 week or whatever. But as long as he's down with that, I guess that's all you can ask out of him. He seems to be
he's done a good job,
a good hand, if you will.
Yeah, that's fair. And like I said, he made me laugh last week, so not complaining about him. Talking about complaining, Giselle backstage picking on people. Giselle picking on people eating their food, which I believe is the opposite of fat shaming, or is it fat shaming? So they got Giselle literally fat shaming people. I mean, oh God, there's just nothing I like about this character. Giselle is not a good wrestler. I'm sorry, I don't care what anyone says. She can have a decent match.
It was being done too to kind of put Morella over here because he's got that DOA title and get something to feed off from.
I mean that's fine. But I don't know. It's like
it totally had a weird placement in the show.
But I mean, look at the start of the show. Cardona,
a lot of shit going
Myers, Cardona, Myers, Dango, Giselle, backstage, whatever. Crazy Steve, Trey. Oh God, Jesus Christ! I'm sorry, I forgot about this until just now. Crazy Steve said that. I'm sorry, Trey Miguel said Crazy Steve's new middle name is Ass, which I mean,
Crazy Ass Steve.
which I mean, I wouldn't mind if there wasn't like the Ass Boys, which is like a chant, like the biggest chant in AEW, and I know Impact like follows the shit out of AEW, and I know most of them are AEW fans that pay more attention and care more about AEW than their own show. But I mean, don't mention shit like that. Jesus Christ, throw any other name in there.
Well,
whatever.
And then, like they're still trying to use the Crazy Steve thing too, because like they're still playing up as being this faction, and we don't have Taurus anywhere around from what I see.
Let it go. He's not that crazy, okay? I've been watching this guy for years. I like him a lot, but he's more like a little kind of wild sometimes, Steve. Not crazy. Crazy would be like if Trey Miguel says something about me, I come at you with an axe, motherfucker. That's crazy. Gary does crazy.
I don't know if people really like give him a fair shake in the ring though either, because like I've seen him do some really good moves, and it's like, why not just like maybe ditch the Crazy Steve character and just.
I'm with you with that. I mean, it's not really killing it, the Crazy Steve character. And especially when, like you said, Taurus is not there, like it just looks weird. And especially with Rosemary gone, like it doesn't like.
Well, did you notice they broke off the death dolls from Decay? Kind of feels like they moved them away from them.
Oh yeah, I thought that was like okay, yeah, I thought they already did that, but yeah, but I think that hurts Steve, just Rosemary literally, and I don't think Rosemary really. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that team, but we'll get to those later. But I don't think Rosemary helps them that much, as she would help Steve just by standing next to Steve. But whatever, we'll get to that. And again, next up, the Good Hands versus Tommy Dreamer and Mickie James. So I mean, just going by the what's happening so far, you can see this is not one of their better shows. Like, where's the Bullet Club? Well,
I commented on this particular match too. Like Mickie James was, I mean, obviously she's a lot better shape and a little younger than Tommy, and she was like carrying the load. Like she was taking out both Hosh and Skylar, and it just seemed like Tommy was gassed almost like this entire match or something.
There's just no reason for him to be on television anymore. This was a short match. And like you said, she did everything. She is incredible.
Well, she did that dive on him from the top of the upper part of the ring, off the top rope out to the outside of the ring,
I would say Mickie James is the MVP right now for Impact. And I think she's been carrying shows. I think she's like one of the few reasons to watch the shows right now.
Like I definitely feel like she is the reason to watch Impact, because like every time she's on, like it just seems like the crowd's into it, and I don't know, it just seems like it makes for a more entertaining TV when she's on.
I think the best feud right now is her and Bully, and it's not even like a feud, Like I'd start the show with that, like Bully freaking out. What is he gonna do to her this week?
Oh yeah, well I mean, like I say, I think it's gonna lead to Bully facing her husband on the road.
I really would not be shocked if it's her against Bully.
Yeah, it could happen.
I mean, because it's Impact, like we
got 73-year-old Mike Jackson in our ring, so anything's possible.
Or how about this? It's like maybe he like beats the piss out of
and again, we love Mike Jackson. It's no. I just get concerned when I see this man doing things that guys half his age can't even do.
Yeah, one slip off those ropes and you're probably dead. But hey, maybe that's the way you want to go. I don't know. I like to go out a different way, really stoned with a bunch of women around me, and that's probably never going to happen. But back to Tommy Dreamer, and yeah, Mickie is so goddamn awesome. I just can't say enough about Mickie. And Hotch and Skylar are cool. I like them, but got to be more than just jobbers. And I don't know how you can be. I love the.
You're kind of treated like the conquistadors of our wrestling. They don't really have an identity.
I feel like it worked better when they had the.
Oh yeah, when they were pairing off with Bully.
No, wait, who were they with? Oh no, am I mixing them up? The learning tree, were they not part of it?
Oh yeah, exactly. Like we had BSK.
Yeah, it was a cool thing, like, because they were, even when they were
I don't know
losing.
why they didn't continue that. That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, like even when they were losing, like it was kind of like a Job Squad, kind of like a better, maybe a better
Yeah,
version, but it
yeah,
was
I
like
didn't really think about it like that. Yeah,
I'll tell you why they got rid of it, because of goddamn Cardona.
we just don't have a blue meanie.
Yeah, because Cardona has to be with Myers, which again I'm sure it's smart for business. People want to see Cardona and Myers together. They have like, whatever they were together, so it's kind of silly to not have them together. But
Hell,
Myers
why
was
not bring
Myers.
back Congo Kong and throw him into that learning tree kind of thing? You know what I mean? Like he could be the new blue meanie or whatever. Like be
Hey,
all
I was cool with Congo.
can move good for a big man.
Yeah. There's actually somebody. Oh, also Falaba.
Falaba would have been a good choice.
Falaba. Take Tommy Dreamer out. Slide in Falaba.
I don't know why they never made him a monster. I was telling everybody, why can't you make him the next Yokozuna?
Or just even you could even forget about that. Well, I mean, they could do it. They could if they really wanted, but forget about that. Just make him like the Impact face guy who everyone fucking loves, and he was over everywhere they went. No matter where they went, he was over. If I'm not even like, I know it may sound silly, like put him in a match with Mickey James, but I don't think it would be at all. Like he'd be so incredibly over, and like again, Mickey would do all the work, and like there's just no Dreamer. It's like, ugh, Tommy Dreamer. It's like, and I can't tell someone to watch the show
I
that
don't know
Tommy.
about you, but I do not like the ring gear. I know it's a nod to Dusty. God rest his soul up there. But I don't like the gear either he wears. It's like the polka dot, and it seems like he wears the same gear he wore 20 years ago.
Yeah, no, it looks terrible. It looks, everything about it's terrible. I mean, I get it, it's nice, it's Dusty, but it's like you've done it 50 times, and like get your own thing back, like be like the Dreamer or the whatever. Whatever. We spent enough time on Dreamer, so. Okay, okay, I'm gonna hop around a bit here. Steph DeLander versus Jordan.
Dreamer get the win here too, by the way.
Oh yeah, nice. Good job there. Yeah, good job there. If we didn't mention that, and Myers beat Dango, and okay, Jordan Grace versus Steph DeLander. What did you think about this?
I was very impressed with Steph DeLander talking shit to Jordan, like this, like she's telling her, what did she say? Fall from grace, which was a nice play on Grace's last name. And I don't know, I'm just very impressed with her. I kind of feel like she's kind of like, is it Rhea Ripley in NXT?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like she's kind of like that kind of character. And I would love to see more of her. And there was hinting that she possibly was signed by Impact because she had her own, didn't she have her own Tron? Yeah.
I believe so. This is formerly Persia Parada.
Oh, wow.
If anyone knows her, she was in NXT for a bit, I believe.
Oh, we might want to mention she's from Australia as well.
Ooh, an Aussie.
Yeah, so we kind of been playing that up a lot, too, because what was it? We had the big dude there we got from NXT, and then he went to New Japan. Big burly guy. He took out PCO, and then he fought Josh Owen.
Oh, yeah. Shit.
Jonah.
Oh, yeah, Jonah, yeah.
We did a lot of Aussie talent.
Yeah, totally agree about DeLander. I haven't seen a lot of her. She's taller, much taller than I expected. She's, I don't know, I kind of expected something like, I kind of expected someone totally different based on, it's actually very odd. If you look up her pictures, there's like so many different looks, and I don't know. I guess that's just like a weird.
Maybe she's trying to look for that, that
weird
look or whatever,
Well, it's like a weird, cool girl thing where they can have 1,000 different looks, unlike, say, a bald man like me who can have one look. So, like, if you look up a girl like on Instagram, like you'll see like there's one picture of her like she kind of looks like a queen. Like I guess I don't know if she had like that kind of thing going in NXT. So it's just like it's weird.
I wasn't aware she was from NXT until they had mentioned it, I think, on the broadcast.
I'm telling you, I can show you 2 pictures and you'll be like, this is not the same person. But what I'm sure the hair is also throwing me off a bit. She has like the blonde and black hair.
Yeah, two-tone colored hair, like the bangs are like blonde and the rest of her hair is like black and curly.
Yeah, I think it was always black before that. So, but yeah, excited. I mean, any knockout that they get, they can get like a shitty knockout and they can turn it good, but they would never do that because it's Impact, and I think Gail just knows great talent and gets them somehow. And so yeah, Jordan got the win. I don't love that. I mean, I don't know, like, just why bring someone in just like that to lose to someone like Jordan, who, I mean, I guess you could say she put on a solid little match. So it's like, I don't know. What do you think?
I I don't know. I just all I know was like this was a hard hitting match. I didn't expect so much offense from Delander, just because Jordan is kind of coming off the championship. She's in my eyes, she's kind of still the champion because I feel like she might not have got the Duke, but she was booked really strong in her loss to Mickey. So I don't know. I just kind of feel like there could I could see if they book a return match between these two.
Yeah, I feel like she's, um, yeah, I feel like she's like above Mickey, if that makes sense. Like she's just like kind of like this unstoppable
But
goddamn
she doesn't need
monster
the
that,
title to be the best. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
kind of like Andre the Giant, he never needed the title.
yeah, good call. So yeah, we had some more Matt Cardona stuff, which, I mean, I feel like someone didn't want me to watch this episode, so I'm just gonna skip over that. But I mean, it was kind of funny, I guess, the whole stuff with him and Hendry. I just wish it was anyone but Cardona, who literally talks every week about how he wants to go back to WWE and talks about Zack Ryder and anything but Impact. Am I wrong about that, Gary? From what you see?
No, I'm right there with you on that.
He's also in NWA, I believe.
Oh, well,
And I don't like these NWA guys. It's weird. I forget who it was. Oh yeah, he fought for the goddamn title at NWA Tough Enough.
well, I seen a pretty
if,
funny
if,
comment on NWA. Somebody said Billy Corgan's running Impact, or not Impact, but NWA like it's a Dollar Tree,
yeah.
version of a real promotion.
Damn it, that reminds me. We should have gotten into it earlier, but just really quick, before we get back to the show, I watched MLW, and I know a bunch of people that watched MLW. Like after last week, we did a whole like nice thing about MLW. MLW was
We
like
got nothing.
No, but I'm talking of MLW was a fucking nightmare last week.
Yeah.
So like all the nice things I said about MLW, like I have to take 99% of them back because like they could not have put on a worse opening show. Like just the way it was booked, just oh man.
I feel you. I feel you right there. Cause like, what was it? One night I was watching my son and my wife went to bingo and I was really bored. I just popped it on YouTube and I was finding some MLW episodes and I popped one on. I think it was one that kind of featured Enzo. I was like, damn, this venue's like terrible looking. It's all dark.
But this was probably exactly like I said to someone. I said this looks
Yeah, it's
like
really grindy, like not a good grindy. You know, like ECW had its charm, but like this has nothing. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
this looked like a darker episode of Impact. And listen, I'm not giving Impact much credit because they have some really dark.
They can up the anti-production part a little bit too.
They can have some really dark shows, but like this was just like unbelievably dark, and like I'm guessing there was like not many people there, and the card was terrible.
Well, you're going to see a big improvement when we
sorry.
go to the Rebel Complex up in Canada.
Sorry, now I'm confused because I'm reading NWA, but sorry, let me quickly get back to the MLW thing. So yeah, I said a lot of nice things about MLW, and the show was just god awful, and I don't even know if I'm going to watch this week. Like that's how much the show turned me off. Like it felt like, and you said like you mentioned the show with Enzo, that a random show. That's how the show started. It showed with Enzo.
And the crowd had no like when he is up north, when he spoke on the microphone, it was like everybody was into they were digging what he was saying, but like this, it was like you were hearing boos and you were hearing like
I mean it was like
didn't really give a shit, like they were doing their own thing.
I was thinking like, all right, they're gonna bring their best shit. Like Enzo's gonna have his best shit tonight. You know what I mean? Like everyone's gonna have their best shit. And like Enzo gave like a boring ass thing. Like nobody cared. Like I don't even know who. And the problem was like I didn't know who he was talking shit against. You know what I mean? Like that's.
Well, it has to be demoralizing. You're in front of how many thousand, and then you go to this one venue. You're lucky if you have 300 in attendance. You know.
Well, I don't want to do an MLW thing, but I mean we mentioned it last week, and I just wanted to point out. Whoops, sorry, I was wrong. So whatever.
Yeah, it sounded like you guys had uneventful time. We'll say that.
Oh
Dave.
yeah, and it wasn't just me. It was like I was watching it with some people, and none of us got to the main event, which I'm sure was very
Well, we
good.
didn't get any questions or, on our video, kind of like leaning towards MLW last week. We didn't even get a single comment about it. I was hoping we would maybe get that casual MLW fan or, or whatever. But I think it's like the status quo of anything that is an AEW and WWE. You don't get a lot
I
of
also
correspondence.
I also think there's like a Impact fans don't want to like jump out and say, yeah, I like MLW or whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to be honest in this world, and I don't know. What are you going to do about that? But let me jump backstage earlier on in the show. Motor City Machine Guns were with Kushida, and they were, kind of bragging about their Impact and NJPW strong titles. And then the Bullet Club showed up, Ace and Bay, and challenged them to a 3-on-3 at No Surrender, which is set up, and that should be incredible. The third man is Kenta. Sorry, didn't announce that part. But Jesus, that should be incredible. And I mean,
Well,
now
I think so. That was
Kenta.
a huge get by Impact to get Kenta. He's like
Oh
one of
yeah.
I don't know nothing about the man, but I hear good things about him. So we'll soon see how he goes. How he does this in these upcoming events we're having with him.
Yep. And now let's jump to okay, sorry, let me get to NWA really fast. Holy shit. This was so bad. I couldn't even get to the pre-show. I tried to watch and then I skipped back to the
Oh
main
yeah,
show.
what was that? Enough said, or what was it called?
Also, anybody out there, seriously, Google NWA Enough Said or whatever you think the name of this was called, okay? It's called NUFF Said. At least that's what Squared Circle has it on.
I do give them credit here, though. I thought the graphics were very well done, though, for advertising. I just don't know how the show. I just heard it's really it was a lot of big bodies with very little talent on the show. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, it's a nice graphic, but it's a lot worse when Tyrus is on it. So I mean, but Tyrus beat Cardona.
Did you catch Tyrus in the commercials? By the way, during the Super Bowl.
Oh Jesus, no.
Yeah, he popped up. He looked like he was trying to be like Scott Steiner with that metal mesh thing that he used to wear backstage and stuff, say Freakzilla and all that kind of.
Was it a Fox News thing or something?
No, it was it was kind of like a comedy thing, like how they kind of did that Caddyshack knockoff thing, and
oh yeah, okay.
Wow. They were doing other things like that throughout and I know I was like, geez, that's Tyrus. My dad's like, who's that? He couldn't, because he couldn't remember who Tyrus was.
Well, now I feel like an idiot. Tyrus is a giant star who's on Super Bowl commercials. Damn you, Tyrus! You win, you big idiot. But I mean, it is. I mean, even if you're an NWA fan, you have to laugh that Tyrus is world champion. If you go down that list of historic names, make him goddamn junior heavyweight or some bullshit national champion, whatever. Also had to mention EC3 was on this card, and he lost to the man who formerly known as Alex Riley.
I heard about his spill to the outside. I guess he got injured.
I'm sorry, I don't know if that was a win or a loss, but Jesus Christ. Alex Riley versus EC3, what happened to EC3? Jesus God. Remember how hot he was when he left WWE, and he just I've never seen someone kind of kill their own buzz. If he came to Impact now, I'd be because he's I don't know. I guess I'd still be cool if he went back to his old character.
Oh yeah, I totally. You're talking about Alex Riley? Is that what you said? Or EC3? Oh yeah. Well, I totally think he needs to ditch that control your narrative crap.
I think he did. I think he did to a point. He pointed out
did he?
He pointed out it didn't work. We did.
But I guess he was signed by NWA. I guess it was announced. Valentine said that in an interview, or conducted an interview at that event.
If you don't know May Valentine, you should probably look her up. That's just a note to the fans out there. So hey, we have something about Josh. Josh was the backstage with Gia Miller, and they talk about his match with Rich Swann. good. I mean, I like the point, the whole, Swan lost the one match, hasn't had a title shot, makes sense. Kenny King comes out. Yeah, Kenny King comes out. Kenny King comes out. I love how they're putting Kenny King like somewhat near the main event.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I wasn't really expecting it. I like how he came at uh, who was he backstage, and he came at him, and he's like, Rich Swan.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then he was like, I was just like putting him down, and then Josh comes in and he's like, "Oh, I see what you're doing here. You're ganging up on me." Okay.
Yeah.
It just was like really funny how he turned that on, like making them look like they were pussies, Josh and Rich Swan here.
Yeah, it was a good segment. And Kenny is fantastic. I cannot say enough about Kenny King. I'd like to see him sprinkled all.
Since he's been in wrestling longer, I feel like he's gotten more talented, even more so, like with the mic skills. And
he's fantastic in everything. Great mic, great character, great wrestler, great everything. Hopefully, I mean, he's signed, then you just push him, give him some kind of goddamn title, give him a lot of time, whatever. Okay, here's something I loved and then hated. The Death Dolls against a very exciting team of Killer Kelly and Taylor Wilde.
Yeah, this is an infamous booking here we didn't like on this night too well, Jay.
Yeah, Death Dolls got the win here. Taylor was busy looking at her tarot cards. So it looks like this was a 1 week thing.
Yeah,
and now
she throw him at Killer Kelly at one point too when she was looking through him? It looked like wouldn't she toss one at her? Or...
Yeah. So I don't know. Either this was a team put together for 1 week, which I'm leaning towards, or it could possibly be they're gonna kind of fight a little as a team. You know what I mean? Like they have to kind of work together through each other's craziness, and then they become a good team. If that makes any sense.
I just wonder if there's any ideas out there and creative when they have their meetings and stuff. I just wonder if Sue Young is even being considered for any of this, just because Rich Swann being her husband, it's got to be hard. They probably have to, they have a lot of bills to pay, and it's got to be hard that she was on the roster before she had her pregnancy, and now I don't know, maybe she's having some complications from her pregnancy.
No. She's been wrestling.
Oh, has she? Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know why she hasn't been on Impact TV. I don't know if there's a timing issue, or maybe she shows up at No Surrender or something.
Well, I'm gonna go with the same reason Tasha Steelz took a break. Because someone is pushing untalented knockouts at the moment, and I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. I've spoken enough about Giselle. I don't want it to become a thing. And here was something cool. Father James Mitchell. Everybody likes seeing him, except for the fact I have to throw in he's another one that's also an NWA. I really don't like this whole NWA thing, two-timers. But speaking of NWA, he brought out the Hex, Allison Kay and Marty Bell, to attack Rosemary because he said Rosemary hasn't paid proper respect to her boss. That was cool.
This segment with them attacking the Death Dolls kind of reminded me of that time when LAX came to the ring and attacked Decay, but with less impact, if you will. Didn't, the crowd, I don't think I don't think they were big on Marty Bell and Allison Kay, right? Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, or it's maybe they feel been there, done that kind of thing.
Yeah, I just kind of feel like it was kind of lukewarm reception, but it kind of felt like that LAX attacking Decay. Remember on that one episode where they actually, then they had, I can't remember her name.
Yeah, I'd rather not talk about LAX though. It makes me sad. So
yeah,
let's just move on. I miss those bastards, and I always will. But whatever. Allison Kay and Marty. Allison Kay I think is very good. Marty Bell, I've always said, is she's also there.
She's improved, though. I will give her that.
So it's I don't know. They're a solid tag team. The fact that Allison is so good, and Impact very, very bad.
Well, they're booked to wrestle at No Surrender.
Yeah, so that's already a match, and they badly need tag teams so much that
we mentioned that. We said we need Death Dolls to have some real challengers, and
And so much so that she's already got a match at No Surrender. They already have a match at No Surrender for the titles. So
pretty sweet graphic, I must say, for No Surrender. Like all the different talent being booked.
Oh yeah, sorry, got to mention, what the fuck is Mike Bailey and Jonathan Gresham doing on the pre-show?
That's going to be on the pre-show? I knew they were going to have a match, but that's on the pre-show?
Are you shitting me? Yeah, it's a pre-show match. I mean,
hell no.
How is that on the pre-show? You know what I said? Fuck it. You know what?
I don't know what that'll do for Jonathan Grisham's his ego, like, as a wrestler, but I don't know. That's not the way I would do him, because he's already been booked like that, kind of crap.
Exactly. And that could very easily be the match of the night.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean,
Jonathan versus the Speed Man.
I mean, Jesus, like, people is Impact possibly underrating Jonathan Gresham's skills? Like, I didn't think that was possible. But like, I don't know. Like, I think I actually mentioned last week that, like, I could see Gresham being the one to beat Josh because that's how fucking good he is, other than Speedball.
Well, I think if there's one man that could slow down Speedball in a ring, it'd be Jonathan Gresham, just because he has the ability to keep people on the mat.
I would say he's the third best wrestler on the roster. I mean, and that's, just my stupid guess, and I'm sure I would bet people would say he's number one.
I could see the end of that argument, like
Jordan Grace is one of them. And I mean, I know that she's biased, but I don't think most people know more about wrestling than Jordan.
I'd honestly move her over to the digital media.
I move it to the goddamn men's, but she's just so goddamn good. She can wrestle anyone, and I just want to see her wrestling dudes. She's so goddamn powerful, it's insane. But let's get back to it. Mahabali Shera versus PCO, and good lord, at least this was incredibly fast.
Yeah, I couldn't believe like the difference in size, but like PCO.
We're not incredibly, sorry.
But he was throwing Shera around pretty good. And he did the suicide dive kind of thing through the ropes and like nailed Raj and Shera. So he just got taken out both members of the what they used to call the faction back in the day.
Oh Jesus. Wow, good question. I'm just gonna move right on and pretend you didn't ask because I didn't care enough to remember it. So PCO gets the win here, and I mean, I do love, the fact that you can't stop PCO right now. And as much as I don't really care about Shera, he is kind of he is a monster type, and he's a huge dude. So it's a good visual of PCO beating him.
Honestly, the only thing there's one little thing I would do differently with PCO. I'd make his theme much darker. It feels too much like Abbott and Costello on TV to me. It just kind of feels like it's not dark enough.
Yeah, I don't love it.
You feel it's kind of like old monster movies from the 40s and 30s and 40s, like it needs to be. It ain't gonna be like The Undertaker, but they could get him a little darker. I think I kind of feel like he's not full blown straight on horror.
Yeah, I think you could kind of make it similar to The Undertaker, just not a gong, just one kind of noise, one freaky, kind of like a Jason. What's the fucking Jason?
But make them dark enough for me.
How about the Jason noise?
Oh yeah, I mean anything, I don't know. I'm sure AXS TV has ability, with them working with the different music.
Yeah. Just don't use Hemi. Just don't use Hemi. That shit creepy band, man. I heard some wild stories about those guys. Let me tell you, hanging out with friggin' hookers and banging trannies and shit. But whatever. I probably shouldn't be talking about insider news on Hemi, the band that had a song on Impact, I believe, last year. God awful song that nobody remembers, but I don't know where that came from. So back to the show. I think the main event was Matt Cardona. What the F, man? What was there, 7 Matt Cardona segments on this show? And he was main eventing on the night before or whatever.
Well, somebody said this episode was very storyboard friendly. A lot of it was not so much about the action in the ring. It was like everybody like backstage and this person there, that person there. It just kind of was like all over the board. But for some reason, I love this episode this past week. I don't know why. I don't know if it's some of the humor. And I'm not very big on the humor kind of stuff usually because I haven't been really getting my match heavy stuff.
I was just gonna say that. Are you not missing great matches?
I totally am, and it was like, I don't know, this was a change of pace because it wasn't like full of comedy.
Yeah,
and,
I'm totally cool with that. Yeah,
we had some real. It felt like it was trying to be WWE light back in the day.
Yeah, I don't mind that, and I hate when people get too angry about that because let me just say, fuck you, WWE. At its best, nobody is better.
No,
and especially like
No, I mean those are still memories that are instilled in my head, you know.
And when Gary's saying WWE light, he's meaning like just like the kind of the rundown, and like that's the reason people watch. It's like it's not a fucking insult. Like WWE has a special fucking something very big at the top of the show every goddamn time. Tonight we're recording on Monday. Tonight it's probably gonna be Roman Reigns, right? Like, I'm sure you're not watching, but it'll be fucking Roman Reigns or something.
I know how big that story is.
Like, you know what I mean?
I see it all over Twitter.
Like, that's what they do. It's like they start with the big storyline, even if it's like a 2-second thing. Like, oh, look, he's coming into the stage.
It does have me curious.
Then we get to a match.
I just don't. I don't know if there'll ever be a time. I feel like I got burnt with Cena Nation and.
Oh yeah, no. I just mean like the layout. Yeah. I really like their layout. Like they always start with the most important thing. Like I feel like that's what wrestling always used to be. Like Austin when he was on top, The Rock when he was on top. We knew for a fact they were going to start the show.
Oh, they're totally like the Super Bowl of wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I just wish. I mean, you could like. I don't know, my point is, you can't cheat off of them. Just do it like in the smart ways. And I think that's what Gary was saying there. Also, was Moose on this show?
I
mentioned recently.
It was very minimal, but I'm not sure if he was on it or not. There was so much going on. It was like, with all the segments and stuff, it kind of feels like he could have been. I can't remember if right here as
I'm kind of confusing last week with this week, isn't it? Even though I have the notes in front of me, but I remember something happened with Moose last week, but
my notes I had up on the computer crashed, and I don't want to mess with that while we're recording.
Yeah, no, I got nothing on Moose, whatever. The main event. Oh no, sorry, there's something before the main event. Kaz, with Sami Callihan talking about the design. Kind of interesting. I thought one of the interesting things on the show. Kaz with the design. Like, where is that going? Kaz versus old design? Is Kaz trying to turn Sami?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought there was kind of like weird timing because like I mean they haven't really had anything for Kaz meaningful, and then like he showed up this week and then he did this with Sami, but it's like I don't know what really is going on because it's like we said that there was mention that this is going to be a really huge storyline, so I don't know if we see more of like Kaz's friends come.
Shit, maybe they turned Kaz or.
Who knows? Maybe at this point we'll see.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! I know who's coming.
Oh really?
It's Scorpio and Daniels.
Oh, you got that? Like
no.
Oh,
this is just in my mind right now. I mean, They said this is going to be a huge angle. I mean, what could be huge? Kaz needs help. Yeah. Kaz needs help.
What do they call it? The OC?
Yeah, whatever the hell. I forget the. I'm blanking on their fucking name. Jesus Christ! But
something
man.
OC, I think.
But no. Whatever. I'm blanking on the fucking. SoCal fucking uncensored.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew it was something to do with California or something.
Shit. Oh shit. That would be huge. And I'm pretty sure Daniels is. I'm not going to say gone with AEW, but like he's definitely doing indie shows, and he was just announced for a independent Hall of Fame, which is pretty awesome for him. And I have no idea where Scorpio Sky is. I know for a fact he has not been on AEW.
And to be fair, he did wrestle for us before he ever wrestled down south or anywhere. But
I can't remember the last time he's been there. I have no idea what happened to him. Maybe he's
Yeah, that
totally
does make a lot
gone.
of sense, Jay. So you heard it here. We'll be hearing SoCal Uncensored, right? Is that what
Yeah,
they're
that would
called?
be. Oh my God, that would be sick, and that would be. Give me Daniels, and I'll be cool with
Oh,
everything
yeah. But
except
give us
Dream.
the bad influence theme, though.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. I mean, but or the three of them together, but a little more.
Yeah.
Because that is their style basically. They're kind of like Bad Influence, just with Scorpio there, and
Oh, maybe they do end up feuding with
oh, that'd be
the
sick.
design.
Oh, I really hope the thing I just made up happens, and that would be
I'm
really
surprised
cool.
our buddy Robles didn't come up with that, Jay.
Oh shit, I haven't heard from Robles. I got to check on that little wonderful dude. Okay, well that's it for this show. I
I
guess I'll.
got I got one last thing I'd like to throw out there before we go off.
Nope.
I'm throwing a birthday wish, a happy birthday wish to Ken Shamrock, who turns 59.
Ooh,
Georgia born and TNA alumni.
one
Felt
of the
like
best.
felt like we had to get him on the show, at least in some degree.
One of the best. And maybe they'll throw a little birthday shout out to him this week. I think it will be deserved.
It reminds me of a Sly Stallone
Um.
wrestling, like kind of like a Rocky
Oh
type.
yeah, like the Stallone of wrestling. Yeah, I mean that was kind of his time. He was like the melody. I don't. That's one thing. It's like funny, man. When you're born, like it means like you see things so differently. Like people, like young people, like I've heard, like people like he said, like some people like never heard of me, or like some people are like you're not the world's like toughest man or whatever. Like what the hell does that mean? And like we're us older people, like we see him as like a goddamn like a rock star.
Well, and who knows too? I can't remember who they said found him, but when they found him, it was like they found a diamond in the rough, because like if they wouldn't take their chance on him, there might not even been a Ken Shamrock.
And I truly believe, and I know he believes that his what do you call it, history, whatever in WWE, like he should be held in such higher regard.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He was one of those guys in the goddamn Attitude Era, and now they act like he wasn't. You know what I mean? It was like I don't think there would be a Mankind. Like he helped put over Mankind, which was kind of huge. Like he helped put over The Rock. But whatever.
Well, and then The Rock returned the favor at the Hall of Fame ceremony and wished.
Oh yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Success in the world.
Yeah, good point there. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a great point. I mean, he really was. I mean, this is The Rock we're talking about. You know how much friggin' this guy, he can't even make WrestleMania this year. That's how big this dude is. You know how much money he's throwing away, not showing up and doing a wrestling match. Like that's how big this.
Like
he took
2 to 3 movies per year.
Yeah, I mean, the last one was pretty shitty, Black Adam, and somewhat destroyed DC, which is leading to a whole new DC, which I'm kind of excited about, especially after seeing that trailer yesterday and seeing the return of Michael Keaton, even though it's probably only for one movie.
Well, I just seen a pretty damn good movie before we went to air here with Blood. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
No, let me guess, a horror movie.
Anywhere this year.
Blood?
Yeah, Blood. Basically, this kid gets bit by his dog, and then it transforms from the dog into him, and then this mother has to find ways to keep this kid from like dying because he needs blood.
He's turning into a dog?
No, it's kind of like it's this gene that passed from the dog, because the dog tries to attack the kid, and it's like
I gotcha.
You have to check it out. Anyone out there likes horror films? I recommend it.
I watched a good one this weekend, and now I'm blanking on the fuck. Oh, what the hell just came out?
Oh, the one with Batista.
Oh yeah, the Batista.
Don't knock or knock twice or something.
Yeah.
What's that?
Knock the cabin.
Oh, okay.
I would say it was. I mean,
man, there's a lot of knock horror films, like Knock.
Yeah. I mean, well, sorry, thank you. I think that brings back to the point I was trying to make about. Seriously, anybody Google NWA Enough Said. Okay, this is like such an important thing to me that nobody really knows about, and it's the reason why you have to make names that make sense. It's almost impossible to find this fucking show. You have to spell it exactly correct with the N-U-F-F. Like if you put in Enough Said, NWA Enough Said, you're gonna find shit about the band, like the rap band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking rap band, the fucking rap group. Like you're gonna find anything else but the show. So whatever. That just annoyed me. It's a stupid little thing. And I think that's it. Oh yeah. So Knock at the Cabin. I would give it, I don't know, 8.5. it started really, really, really good, but then it kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say
Maybe
died
that'll be
off.
my movie, next movie night, Jay. He give me an idea for my
Yeah,
next movie.
I don't think there was enough gore for you.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I mean, not always about gore. It has to
more,
be.
more of like a psychological thriller.
Yeah, I like those sometimes. This is the same one. The movie Blood that I seen is the same director who did. I don't know if you ever seen Session 9.
No.
Basically, a bunch of guys going in to cleaning up an old asylum, like for institution,
Yeah.
and they get in there, and then there's like these kind of like haunting things going on, like they're deep in thought and everything. Then one of them gets hooked on these tapes that happens to be like in one of the behind the wall, and then he
Okay.
kind of fucking messes them all up because like the one's getting this like psychotic and I don't know,
Yeah,
just
that sounds like something I'd like.
it's pretty freaking cool. It's actually kind of creepy too. If you want to,
Yeah.
it's kind of slow moving. It's a slow
Yeah.
moving film, but if you're down with that kind of thing,
Yeah, I'm more of a
I definitely recommend.
creepy fan. Although, sorry, got to throw in another one here. Even though we have 3 minutes left, I'm watching the clock.
Okay.
Beast with Idris Elba. This dude literally fights a lion. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, but watching him fight a lion was fun.
I totally get where you're coming from. Like, I mean, it did have its moments, but with me, it feels like it's like paint by numbers with me because, like, I feel like Hollywood goes to that because they did it with Michael Douglas with Ghost in the Darkness, I think, where he's hunting these African lions, and it's just like it feels like that's what Hollywood does, like with they think which is horror. I mean, it'd be horrific, but I just kind of feel like it's not.
Yeah,
It's
I had to
really
explain.
true
I had to
horror.
explain to my mother.
You know.
I had to explain to my mother that it's not a horror movie, and she could watch it, and she did enjoy it afterwards. So,
Oh wow. Good
and
for
then it actually reminded me of The Gray so much that I had to watch The Gray after I watched this movie.
yeah.
And then and like I love The Gray. The Gray is such an awesome
Oh yeah,
movie,
the Grave's a damn good
but
movie.
but it doesn't give you that moment of Liam Neeson fighting the fucking wolves at the end. It's such a cock tease or whatever. And this movie, like, I mean, I know it's so ridiculous, but Elva, like, just rolling around with this fucking gigantic fucking lion. It's
Well, right now he can't do anything wrong. Like he's on
oh
fire.
yeah, no,
Like I mean,
oh yeah,
you could throw water on him and he'd still be on fire.
yeah, pretty much. And all right, well, we can't get over an hour, so or else that f's up all of our podcast stuff. So we're gonna end it here. And Gary, better luck next year, buddy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough crawl back to that because it's like we're gonna be losing like 4 to 5 talent, on the roster.
And really quick, screw Pat Mahomes and the referees that are in love with him. I mean, to be fair, my nephew is a huge fan, but just enough. Like enough Mahomes. Like if